What's up, guys? Boxing with B. We don't have A-Rod without the paycheck with us today, but we have professional judge and referee Ray Corona joining us. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And again, like I said before, it might be a little bit delayed on how you hear it because this is video chat. We're working with it. But
There you go. There you go.
quick background. I know you guys all know Ray Corona, but I don't call him Ray. I don't call him anything like that. I call him Coach. Because, I was at the not a boxing gym, an MMA gym years back. And Ray actually was one of the boxing trainers there, and I took his class. So after that, he was always coach to me. Every time I saw him, hey, coach, hey, mija, hey, mija. That's how it was.
There you go. There you go.
So first off, let's get straight into this. I want to talk about what it's like being a ref because we've seen refs in all different sports, and I think with boxing and like MMA, these combat sports, you guys have a different responsibility. When you go in there, you not only have to see these fighters and make sure that, there's no low blows or there's no like rabbit punches behind the head, but you also have to be there to watch these fighters and make sure that they're safe because if that corner doesn't jump in and stop the fight, or if you look at a fighter and you're like, you okay, you want to continue, their eyes are rolling back, but they're like, yes, I want to continue. That's where you have to
No,
step
no.
in.
You definitely have to. Sometimes you have to save the fighter from his own self, But Andy Foster, or the CEO of California, and Mark Reyna, our lead supervisor, they really hold us accountable. Jack Reese, great referee. He's pretty much, in my opinion, is our lead official, and he trains us. You know what? We have a big responsibility, And with that said, as being a referee, when you're in the ring, I hear stuff that not even ringside fans hear, not even the commission hears. The grunting, the
Yeah.
body blows, when somebody gets a hard shot, that like, oh, you know what I mean. So you're definitely right, and I appreciate you that you actually say that because the responsibility is on us to keep the safety of the fighter. As you know, last year, God forbid it happened. 5 boxers passed away. By the
Yeah.
grace of God, and nobody in California.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a big responsibility.
And, I was watching some of the recent fights in Mexico and they were using the body cams. Do you think that the body cams actually help give the audience like an actual perspective of what the referees see in the ring? Because, like you said, when you're in there, you hear the grunts, you hear all the things that these fighters are feeling. Do you think that the body cam actually helps capture that for everybody outside?
I would say so. Like 2 years ago, PBS was having us. I remember one time I wore some glasses with a little camera on the side. Jack Reese had some as well. But yeah, it gives them a little perspective, especially the inside fighting, But yeah, it really shows that little extra.
Do you like wearing it? Does it bother you when you're in there? Because you're already focused on them. Now you have to wear something.
Yeah. When I wore it the one time, it did bother me because the camera was getting a little hot on my forehead. But I wore it.
So you've heard the saying, whatever the ref doesn't see is legal.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that
I
being a ref?
actually say that, Mija, in the dressing room when I'm talking to the fighters, giving them the instruction. I go, hey, bro, if I didn't see it, it didn't happen. So don't bother yourself to turn around and try to tell me something and then get hit and then blame me for it or even blame the other fighter.
Yeah.
Protect yourself at all times. But if I don't see it, you know what I mean? Again, it goes back to mind the rules. But if I don't see it, if I don't acknowledge it as a foul, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Because again, let's be honest, some of these fighters will play the ref. Sometimes you get hit on the ear and it feels like you got hit on the back of the head. Mind you, I just got finished sparring today. My last time I'll ever spar. But I got hit on the ear and it felt like I got hit on the back of the head. So that's even more proof there.
Oh, man. Well, the reason I asked this is because video replay is now here in the boxing world. And so
Yep.
from the outside perspective of, not being a referee, when I hear a video replay, in my eyes, I'm like, okay, so this is going to take away from those veteran fighters. Like, say you have a veteran fighter that's up against a young kid, maybe one or two fights in, and he feels, oh, I could take this veteran fighter. The veteran is going to do all their veteran tactics, rough them up, step on the toe, get anything to get that knockdown. And then these fighters will prepare for that. Oh, you're fighting a veteran. Make sure we get ready to get roughed up. Make sure you get ready. You might get hit with an elbow. You might get hit behind the head. They're going to do those things to you. But with the replay, are these fighters now going to start to think, don't worry about it. You know what? They'll just replay it.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas already has it.
Mm-hmm.
They're already doing the replay. As soon as Andy Foster passes it or doesn't pass it, but it's going to come, and I don't mind. I mean, we're human. We make mistakes. Lefty fighters, you know how that goes. There's always a lot of headbutts,
Yeah,
bumping heads, stepping on toes. And I personally, I forget his name, the fighter from up north, the Ghost. I did his fight at the
Guerrero.
Anaheim, and I called it a knockdown. Guerrero, back in I think 3-4 years ago, the guy stepped on his foot,
Mm-hmm.
and I called it a knockdown. Now, if there was replay, he still won the fight.
Yeah.
And thank God my calling it a knockdown didn't change the fight. But as I looked at the replay, he stepped on his toes. So things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're okay with it. You see it as like a
I'm okay
positive.
with it.
It'll help
I'm
you out
okay.
at times.
It's technology. We gotta, it's part of. It's happening. We got to go with it.
I mean, look at us right now. Technology.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I have only seen you in the boxing world, but you're in the UFC world too, huh?
I do MMA as well, Mia. The last fight I had was this past. I think it was April at the Orange County Fairgrounds. I did an MMA fight too. Andy Foster has allowed me to enter that, and I took John McCarthy's class in the refereeing. So I probably have like 15 pro fights and about 50 amateur MMA fights. But my main thing is boxing. That's my love. Yeah.
Did you referee the MMA fights or judge?
Yeah. Both.
Wow.
Both.
Okay. So let me ask you this: which one's harder for you? I know that they're two different sports. I hate when everybody compares them. Like, let's take a UFC fighter, put them into boxing, see how they do. And like, no, you can't do that. You have to expect they're two different, two different fight styles, like you said.
Right.
But for you, when you're in the boxing ring, if someone touches to the canvas, it's a knockdown, they're hurt. But in UFC or MMA, when they touch the canvas, you have to, all right, let me see. Are they breathing still? All right, they're going to try to get a submission. Are they down? Is it harder?
Thank God. Yeah, thank God I haven't mixed it up. When I get in and do an MMA fight, I go to Millennia to practice. So I really put my mindset, okay, this is an MMA fight. Don't jump the gun. I would like to think, like Jack Reese tells us, don't steal paid his hard-earned money for a $25 ticket and he's kind of in the nosebleed. Don't rip him off and jump the gun. So with that said, when I'm in MMA, if the guy goes down, I just be calm, Ray, relax, Ray. In boxing, when he goes down, relax. As long as he doesn't hit his head viciously, I'm not going to stop the fight. And in boxing, it's not a rush. You know what I mean? It's not a rush. There's no rush.
Yeah.
So with that said, I never, so far I haven't mixed it up,
Yeah. No, it's good. That's definitely a different mindset you have to have. So it's cool to see how you prepare. You mentally have to be like, all right, this week is UFC. This is how I have to start thinking already.
Got to stay on my game,
Yeah. Yeah. So this delay is getting there a little bit. I see the delay on the video, but boxing returns to Southern California this Friday with Ortiz versus Vargas as the main event. You also are stepping back into the ring. Are you ready? Are you tired? You've been taking breaks, so you're like, oh man, I got to start moving. What if these fighters are moving so fast? I got to keep up with them.
You know what, Mia? I've always worked out. I again, like I told you, I just got finished sparring today. I spar once a year, and it didn't go too good. I'll tell you, I'll be honest with that. I lasted the 3 rounds, 3 minutes. I was happy about that, but I I promised my wife that's it, no more. But with that said, I'm always exercising. I'm always running, so I try to stay on my game. Um, like Jack always says, go to the gyms and get in the ring when they're sparring, because you know what, things happen.
Yeah.
Double knockdowns that haven't
Yeah.
hasn't happened to me. Are you going to be able to handle that? You know, just sometimes you get runners, and you got to be in shape. So
Yeah.
with that said, I try to be in shape. I'm always I eat right,
Hmm.
the whole thing. I don't know if you know, I have 5 sons. Remember from Millennia, I
Yeah.
have
I would
five
see
sons.
them. We
So
would all be in the kids class together.
that's right. That's right. And I don't tell them to work out unless I'm working out.
That's good. I mean, and then to hear you go even three rounds or one round, people don't even really think about when you're in there. One round feels like forever. If you're not in
Exactly.
shape,
I was hitting a lot of air too. So with that said, man, it takes a lot to pull those arms back.
hey, at least you're doing it. You're out there doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're allowed to share any of this information or if you know anything, but when you're going back in, you're stepping back into the ring on Friday. We've seen Top Rank in Vegas, they have the fight bubble. Now, do we expect a fight bubble over here? You expect to enter a fight bubble here in Southern California?
I still don't know what Fantasy Springs is going to look like,
Okay.
or how much it's set up.
Mhm.
I think I'm more stressing out because my wife Arlene's a registered nurse, and
Yeah.
she's worked the COVID floor, and she really takes it to heart. And we're Christians, you know that already, and I'm
Yeah.
just trusting God. But being locked down all this time is really, it's gotten to me. I'm not gonna lie. I try to be positive. I tell my kids, but Thursday we
Mhm.
show up at Fantasy Springs. We test between 3 and 6 p.m. And then you gotta go to your room until Friday. You cannot leave your room. I'm like, oh my God, being locked up in the house is one thing, but being locked up in a room,
Yeah.
I mean, my background, it's been 37 years since I've been in prison, and I didn't like it in there. And I can imagine how it's going to be Thursday and Friday. And then, mind you, I was blessed with the Corona fight on Sunday, the 26th. It was the pay-per-view Thompson fight. I
Yeah.
got blessed with the fight as well. So Friday after the fight, I got to go back up to my room, stay in the room until Saturday. I have a window of about 4 hours to get straight to Corona. I can't come home and stay in the hotel room there until Sunday for the fight. And mind you, I'm a little nervous. This all will happen only if I pass my COVID test on Thursday night. So I feel good. I exercise, but the wife is telling me sometimes you could test positive and not be sick. So God willing, I pass it though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask too, is if you've taken a COVID test before this.
No, I haven't.
Man, that's one
I
of those
haven't.
scary things. Just the thought of it is it's already something to stress about.
Yes, I am. I am. You know, sticking that cotton swab way up my nose. And then what if they hit my brain? I got a small brain. I don't want it to damage anything.
Oh man. So another question, if it's optional to wear your mask while you're reffing, are you going to wear it? Are you not going to wear it?
It's not optional in California.
Oh, okay.
Andy Foster told us you will wear it or you will not work. Andy Foster, not to kiss the boss's butt. This guy's on top of his game.
That's
His
good.
thing is safety. I mean, 100 times over. He's really hard on the weight thing. Fighters cutting weight. I don't know. I think he set the precedent all across the United States about cutting weight. He don't like fighters that are cutting weight. He don't like you to cut weight and then come in the next day before the fight 15 pounds over. He don't like that
Yeah.
because of the dehydration and the damage. And he's just on it. You want to work, Ray? You're going to wear a mask. Everybody.
Well, that's
So
good. You talking about the dehydration thing, we've seen so many different things like There was a remember when HBO had the 2 days where they would, just follow a fighter before their fight?
Yes.
I remember Mikey Garcia had one where he cut weight and he was throwing up in the elevator and, it was one of those recovery things where you fight maybe a day or 2 days after and you're still trying to recover from throwing up. Think about when you're sick with the stomach flu and you're throwing up, the next day you still feel a little fragile, you're trying to get back into it. I can't even imagine with these fighters.
Yes, yes. And Dr. Wallace, the chief doctor of California,
Mhm.
he gave us a little experiment. When you dehydrate, you lose all your body water. Now, mind you, your brain sits in like a jelly. When you dehydrate, it loses all that jelly. And for that jelly to get back around your brain takes 72 hours.
Wow.
Now, a lot of these fighters are dehydrated, then they hydrate, their brain still ain't right at the day of the fight. And these are the things that happen. And that Andy Foster's really on it. He's really trying to make it a law. And because Adrian Corona, my son's a fighter, and he has 7 fights, all wins. But I think on his third or fourth fight, I just didn't like the way his eyes looked
Yeah.
that way. And I told him, Mijo, you can't do this, man. You just didn't look right,
Yeah.
Thank God, and this is where I'm not a doctor,
Mhm.
but this is why if I had my choice, I wouldn't want my son to be a pro fighter because, the long term effect.
Yeah.
But that, what are you going to say?
Hey, it's in your guys' blood though. You can't
Yeah,
stop it.
yeah.
You can't stop it. You just gotta go with it.
When
Oh,
they seen
oh.
when they seen Dad box as a kid, when I was a boxer with Ben Lira, they used to call me AK Canvas Back Corona, and they'd say, "Hey, I want to be a boxer like Dad." Canvas Back Corona.
Oh my gosh, can't stop. So quickly, I don't wanna take up more of your time, but I wanna know what who you have these upcoming fights. So first off, let's start off with Friday. Who are you gonna take with the main event? Ortiz or Vargas? Who's taking that?
And, and with all due respect, me, I can't comment on that
Okay.
because I don't know if I have the fight, and it wouldn't be ethical right to
Yeah,
call
yeah,
it. But I will say this: it's a great matchup.
yeah.
It's a great matchup, and if I get the fight, you know, and let me toot the horn of all the referees. We have the best seat in the house. The best seat in the house, man. When these guys are boxing, I mean, it's like wow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Wow. But yeah, it's gonna be a great fight. And then Selena fights that night too, as well, right?
Who?
Uh, Selena, is that her name? The female boxer?
Oh, Sinisa.
Sinise, I'm sorry. Yes. So
Yeah,
she's fighting as well.
yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to get her fight.
Yeah, no,
Then
that night
there's
is you're
a
on a good
10
card.
round fight, a title, some kind of junior title fight.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's gonna be an action-packed night for sure. It's a good start to Southern California boxing again.
yes. Props to Golden Boy. I'm glad I was kind of missing it while I was watching the Tuesday, Thursday fights in Vegas. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, Oscar, come on, man. And sure enough, thank God we got the ball is rolling.
Yeah, and let me ask you this. I know that you're not just limited to California. So,
No,
why weren't
I've
you
been
out
blessed,
there in
Mia,
the
to be all over the world. I've been to places all over the world, and with Top Rank,
Yeah.
PBS. Um, I've been all over, man. Places I've never thought I'd be, and I've been there. I've been blessed. I have.
Why didn't we see you in the fight bubble in Vegas? I was
You know
waiting.
what?
I'm like, Coach
Because
Ray
my
has to come out here. He's gonna be in one of these.
Arlene, my wife, she's really on top of us, all of us. Don't go anywhere. I don't want you guys going nowhere. Wash your hand. We're super clean as it is, but I go, baby doll, all we could do is our part.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of times. Well, I mean, the rule, I never really inquired, but you know, if you're not working, I don't even think in California or Vegas you can't be there. So, but if they call me, of course I'll go.
Yeah.
Max, our judge, was there. Like, God, he's been there every fight night. I think Max Toluca.
Mhm. Wow. it's one of those things where it's like, you can't really like the logic of your wife is it's I can totally agree with her because if you think about it, you're going to Vegas and it's like Vegas is like the main center where everyone from around the world wants to go visit. So
Yeah,
it's, the danger is everywhere. Like you said, no one, we can't do anything about it. But going to Vegas, you're putting yourself in that. You're choosing to go into it. So it's one thing you want to step back into the ring, but at the same time, it is one of those things where you're like, all right, it wasn't my turn. I'm okay with it.
that's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I was going to ask you more of the fights, but you know what? You could be one of the refs for one of those fights, so I don't want to ask you too much on the upcoming fights.
There you go. Thank you.
And
Thank you for
happy
having me,
early
Mia.
birthday. Happy early birthday. I know that it's coming up this week.
Sunday, Sunday.
Well, and you just sparred. You sparred to start your birthday.
Yes, and that's it. No more, man. I do it once a year, and it wasn't a pretty sight this one, but that's it.
All
Hang up the
right.
gloves.
Well, thank you, coach. Thanks for joining us.
You have a blessed day and be safe. Thank you for
You
having me.
too. Tell Arlene I said hi.
Okay, bye bye, Mia.
Bye.